The Radio Forest Podcast.
Hey, Forrest.
Jon Anderson from Yes. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. It's Forrest. Good to hear you.
Serious question for you. Do you think Blackburn or Burnley have a shot at getting back in the EPL?
I hope not.
You hope not? Neither team?
Accrington Stanley is right in the middle of them. You got Blackburn, then Accrington, then Burnley. You can't have that because Accrington Stanley were one of the first of the 7 teams that created the first league in 1875. And I have everything to prove because I was the ball boy and I was actually the mascot, and I dressed and run up on the pitch, kick the ball around with them. That was my life. I wanted to be a football player.
Did that give you a sense of local pride and loving your town and your family and your history?
Oh, God, yeah. And I sold programs as well. Programs, tuppence each.
You did everything.
Programs. I did everything.
That's not that far from Liverpool. Surely growing up then, there was all kinds of Beatles lore, like John Lennon ate a sandwich here. Paul McCartney parked his car here one time and had a cup of tea. Surely there's like landmarks, right, that only the locals know.
Yeah, well, we used to talk like this a lot, like you were from Liverpool, and I got my hair cut like a Beatle.
What did your parents think about that?
Thought I was stupid.
Didn't you guys get into a venue that the Beatles had played in Liverpool? Didn't you kind of sneak in with that early band?
Yeah, because I was down in Liverpool with I had to be the second man with a guy with a truck. It's a very long story here. But Accrington was famous for these bricks, norite, the red bricks. And they're so famous, they would ship all over the world. So they'd take them, put them on a truck, and take them down to Liverpool, which was a port, stick them on a big boat, and off they went. And would you know, the biggest, in New York, the biggest...
Empire State Building?
Empire State. The bottom part is 5,000 norite bricks from Accrington, the foundation.
And they all came from you delivering them?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much.
So Jon Anderson and the band Geeks, a brand new album, True. Jon, I gotta be honest, the song Shine On gave me the chills. Your voice is so piercing and haunting on that song in a good way. Have you done a lot of things to work on your voice, or are you doing anything special? Because didn't you take some time off with your voice?
Yeah, I got very sick, more to do with the body not doing so good. On tour, when you tour with Yes, in those days, they had to use smoke so that the lights would look better. And the smoke was this oil-based, very dangerous, because I'd be singing and inhaling the smoke around it. And after a year of doing that, I really got very badly sick and everything. And then the Yes carried on without me. And I went on tour just with me, a guitar, and my wife, Jane, and just singing the songs that I wrote for Yes. And it was a fantastic experience. But, you go through these things and just think, okay, I just got to keep going, and that's what I'm doing now.
The videos for True Messenger and Shine On from the new album, True, they look like you guys are having a lot of fun. Now, I know you record those and you do multiple takes. So you're probably doing one song all day. But seeing that and some of the live footage, it looks like you're really having a lot of fun with these guys. Is it really like kicked back up your love for touring and the 70s songs of Yes and being on stage?
It's incredible. It's the best time of my life, and I can't believe how lucky I am. I feel very blessed to be still singing and hitting the big notes and still hanging in there, having a good time.
And when you first met with these guys, the band Geeks, they're on YouTube doing covers of Yes songs. At first, these are 3 different levels, Jon. So it's a band that can play your music, but then a band that can play with you singing the music, and then a band that can be involved with new music. So what was the first process? Did you originally think you wanted to perform with them, or did you just want to talk and hang out?
Well, when I heard them do the Heart of the Sunrise, I rang up the bass player, Richie, and said, Richie, you guys are fantastic. Let's go on tour. And he said, is that really Jon Anderson? I said, yeah, we're going to do epics and classics. And we toured for 12 shows. At the end of this tour, I just turned to Richie and said, listen, guys, we got to make an album. And that's what we did over the winter from November, January, February. And the album's out now. It's coming out today. It's more than I could have ever dreamed of as an album. It's just pure Yes magic. I don't know what it is, but the gods of music said, "Okay, Jon, have a go."
And congratulations, I read that you have your own asteroid. That's quite the honor.
Oh, yeah. I've actually got a plaque on my studio wall here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters that went to the moon. And they took my album with them, my first solo album, which was Elias's on Halo. I don't think they went to the moon, but I think they went to the spaceship up there. But they just love Yes music.
And I believe Chris Squire had an asteroid named after him as well. How was your relationship with Chris throughout the years? Because you guys had known each other since you were so young, and he's just such a huge influence in music. So I imagine his impact in your life had to have been monumental.
Really. He was my brother and a great friend of mine. No matter what, he went through so many difficult experiences in his life. And I was actually in Maui and with my wife Jane, and I had this dream that Chris was going up to heaven. And I saw him going up to heaven, tears coming out of his eyes and stuff. And I woke up the following morning, and it was on TV that Chris Squire died. And I said to Jane, well, I had this dream. Can't believe it was for real that Chris wanted to say goodbye to me. And I love him for that.
Did you ever have any other experiences like that? I mean, that's supernatural.
Yeah. Well, actually, I go for a walk every morning, and I walk up the hill and down the dale here for about a mile or two. And I was listening to the new album, and there's a song called Friend of Mine. Be a friend of mine. I'll still be a friend. Subconsciously, I was holding hands with Alan and Chris. Still friends. See, Alan White was my best man at my wedding 30 years ago.
You were feeling their presence, or kind of in your mind you were thinking of them, or it was more of they're physically next to you that you could feel?
Yeah, I was hearing the music, which is Still a Friend from the album, and I was listening and holding their hand. Just happily walking down the road.
Well, it's the new album called True. Jon Anderson and the band Geeks. He's got Richie from Blue Oyster Cult in with him. Some of these songs are epic. They go back to the classic 70s Yes sound. Thank you for talking to me, Jon Anderson.
Thank you, Forrest. I wish you well.